Hi, I'm Reverend Nicole Reilley, and welcome to the Clergy Wellness Podcast. This is Season 1, Episode 2, Making a Summer Bucket List. Today we'll also look at the wellness practice of the week, what's making this week good, and a mindfulness meditation. Let's jump in. Do you remember summers when you were a kid? I loved summer. There was time to sleep in, there was time to watch TV and listen to music, there was time to play games, there was time to just hang out with your friends. In my family, we always went to the library every Wednesday during the summer. And I'd come home with a big bag of books. I loved mysteries, I loved learning about Greek and Roman gods, and I would lie on my bed and read for hours. We also had a swimming pool at my house, and so there was always afternoon swimming with iced tea and lemonade. And if we were feeling particularly wild, we would take one of our stereo speakers and face it out of the window so that we could turn on the music while we swam and read and hung out. I also loved going to summer school when I was a kid. Our summer school focused on additional curricular activities. So we had exercise and drawing and writing and poetry and a bunch of other just fun things. You got to see your friends for a couple hours, learn something new, and walk home talking with friends all the way. I didn't go on a lot of vacations when I was a kid. My dad was in sales, and that meant that to take off work was to lose income. But I do remember there were a couple trips we went on over the years. Our summer vacations, though, were mostly at home with an occasional Dodger baseball game and friends over for barbecue and swimming. I think when you are young, summer is the best. Adult life feels like it robs you of these things. I mean, right? You still have to work a full week in the summer. It just feels cruel. My first church that I served was next door to a condo complex, and my office door opened up to the wall that divided the church lot from the condo. And on the other side of that wall, well, that was the condo's swimming pool. So all summer long, I'd be in my office working away, and I'd hear all these kids over there just jumping and splashing and playing. It seemed wrong, but I never thought, maybe they've got something there and I should be doing something differently. In fact, when I began ministry, I noticed that our August worship was pretty sparse, and so what did I do? I didn't go on vacation myself. No, instead, I turned it up to 11 and offered this whole August theme where we decorated the church and we did special programming, and August became a big month at the church. And if people were in town, they certainly were in worship. All this that I did made me exhausted. So by the time I hit the fall, I needed a break. So over the years of ministry, I started to look for how I might have a different rhythm of life during the summer. Some of the things that the churches I have served did over the years to address this is we moved from 3 worship services to 2. We invited staff to work at home at least one day a week, and we were fine if they were hanging out at the pool. We decided to have more limited office hours. We didn't need the staff in the office full time. We canceled church meetings for one of the summer months. We had all of our small groups take the summer off. And we brought in guest musicians over a 4-week period. So, all of that was great in lightening the load. But I was still looking for what would help me to enjoy the summer. So, about 5 years ago, I started creating bucket list for the summer. A simple bucket list, which is just, a simple, very simple idea. I created a sheet of paper with colorful circles, and then I wrote things in the circles that I wanted to experience during the summer. Now, you're probably really aware of what a bucket list is. Usually people put them together as a way to look at what they want to accomplish over their whole lives, before they kick the bucket. This bucket list gives you some life goals. I'm talking about something different, though. Something more immediate. I'm just looking at the summer. The why of doing this, I think, is important as we talk about clergy wellness. You see, we all need things to look forward to. You really do need those things. And when you have small, doable things you look forward to, it makes life better. Here are some of the things that a bucket list can help with. This is adapted from an article called Very Well Mind by Dr. Elizabeth Scott. She writes, one of the benefits of a bucket list is it helps you get in touch with your values. One of the things that I value is to set aside time with nothing to do. But realistically, it's always the first thing to go when the church gets busy. But when I put in an hour on my hammock, on my bucket list, it somehow becomes more magical. Maybe it's the fact that I get to check it off. Voila, I find time for it. What do you value right now? More time to read or study? More time with family? Creating something? Cooking? Gardening? These can get pushed aside in the busy life of a pastor. So I want you to think about what you value and how it might be able to fit into your summer bucket list. A second benefit of a summer bucket list is it helps you get in touch with your goals. Do you set goals? I do, but I find they often fall by the wayside during the year, or that I don't do them because they really weren't my goals, but someone else's goals that I thought I should do. If you make goals, this year, a summer bucket list can invite you to assess where you are and if those goals still serve you. If so, you may want to include a next step in your summer bucket list. I often have a goal that sounds something like take more time for exercise. Summer has been a great time to make space for this with walking, swimming, and taking a summer yoga class. The third benefit of a summer bucket list is it helps you get creative. One year, I learned to make several different kinds of shrubs. This was because it was on my bucket list. I was curious about how this worked. Shrubs, if you're not familiar with them, are a summer drink with vinegar and then either fruit or vegetables that you put in. It's a great way to use your summer garden. It was fun to take an hour and try this new summer drink. It was creative. It was interesting. Summer's a great time for creativity. If you have kids, summer can be a time for you to all join together in doing something. Creativity sparks fun and joy. And last, a summer bucket list helps you enjoy life more. It is amazing how our growing to-do list can suck all the joy out of life. The bucket list, for me, is the opposite of a to-do list. It's a list of what will help me enjoy my life and especially my summer more. So it's important to have things that you enjoy doing. It helps with energy and it gives you space to relax. It helps with burnout and feeling like life is just one to-do list. One of my bucket list heroes is Annette White of the Bucket List Journey. On her website, bucketlistjourney.net, she shares how she suffered from severe anxiety and fear that put serious limitations on her life. One day, she says she was so tired of it all, she decided to make 2 promises to herself. The first was she wasn't going to let fear make decisions for her. And second, she was going to start living her bucket list. For her, this was about taking at least 1 step forward daily into the life she wanted to live. Out of that, she started traveling more, opened a restaurant with her chef husband, and more. I like her story because it was about how using a bucket list can really improve your life. She also widens the understanding of what a bucket list is in her article, 25 Ideas for Another Name for a Bucket List. Here are some of her names: My Wish List, Amazing Experiences to Have List, Life's Adventure List, The Living List, Visions for the Future List, The Dream List, The No Fear List. So, back to your summer bucket list. Here's some guidelines as you think about creating yours. First, put things on the list that bring you joy. Remember, this is your list. So what makes you happy? What brings you joy? Second, consider if you want to do a mix of things on your own, but also with others. You get to decide what works best for you. If you have kids, you might invite them to create their own bucket list for the summer and have activities that would be for family as well as for them on their own. I tend to like doing things on my own from my bucket list, but everyone's bucket list will be different. Third, don't put any church things on the list. Yeah, it is easy to think that since church work slows down, it's a great time to work on things, but resist that feeling at all cost. The church can wait until after summer. Number 4, consider adding different ways to rest onto your list. Things like taking a nap outside, giving yourself permission to fall asleep on the sofa or by the pool. These things let you experience summer at a more relaxed pace. And I don't know why, but putting them on a list and then I check off seems to make them more of a priority. Number 5, things don't need to cost money. So look for some free things like trip to the park or the library or community concert. And last, things don't have to take a lot of time. You can go out and get ice cream with friends. That's probably going to take you about an hour. Or you could make a big salad with all the garden vegetables you're seeing at the farmer's market or maybe growing in your own backyard. And that can take under 30 minutes. So my current version of the bucket list has 20 circles, and here are some of the things that I've included over the last 5 years as I've done this. Number 1, read a novel. Number 2, visit a park. Number 3, eat a new flavor of ice cream. Number 4, go meet a friend for lunch. Number 5, go for a walk at the beach. Number 6, plant vegetables. Number 7, call in sick. Number 8, have a picnic. Number 9, make iced tea. Number 10, learn a song on the ukulele. Number 11, watch a new Netflix series. Number 12, lie in the hammock and read a magazine. Number 13, make cookies. Number 14, go Facebook free for 24 hours. Number 15, have friends over and drink champagne. Number 16, take a nap. Number 17, walk on the grass with bare feet. Number 18, go to the farmer's market. Number 19, wear sandals. Number 20, go to a concert. Number 21, grill. Number 22, watch the sunset. Number 23, go swimming. Number 24, eat watermelon. And number 25, run through the sprinklers. Now, the goal isn't to do them all, but to push myself past my usual summer pattern and take on a different way of life for the summer. I know it is easy for me just to do the same thing every evening after church. But since creating a bucket list for the summer and pinning it on the refrigerator, I find I see it and I think, yeah, I could go for a swim, or I could pull out my planner and make a plan to go to the farmer's market. I usually find I get about 60% of my bucket list done. But what I find is that 60% really moves the summer from being just another season to really being a time that's special and wonderful and full of surprises. If you'd like a copy of my PDF bucket list, I'm happy to send it to you, and then you can just fill it in yourself with the things you'd like to try out this summer. You can email me at revreilley@gmail.com. So that's REVREILLEY@gmail.com. So, try out a summer bucket list and increase your wellness and enjoyment of the summer. Wellness practice of the week. One of my best wellness practices I came up with one July. It was to take off every Thursday during the month. Now, my usual day off is Friday and often Saturday if there's nothing else going on at the church. But during July one year, I added in 4 Thursdays off. Now, was this part of my vacation allowance? Maybe 1 or 2 of them was. But I was also aware of how often I worked on my days off, whether it was a holiday Monday or responding to email on Friday and Saturday. So I decided this was probably just fine. I didn't ask anyone if it was okay. I just did it. Those extra days were a huge blessing to me that summer. It enabled me to have more time with my son, spend time at the pool, and read. I found myself less resentful and discouraged too. So, what days can you add in for your normal days off? Squeezing in just 1 or 2 extra days can make a huge difference. And if you can't take a whole additional day off, can you take off after lunch? Now, I know that some of us will feel like we're cheating the church by taking more time off. And if that is you, I want you to remember this. You are a professional, and this is a marathon. I have been in full-time ministry for 30 years, and if I could give you some advice as we live into the summer, it would be this. Take some extra days for you and your family. You and they are worth it. What is making this week good? I am what I would call a liquid person, meaning I drink a lot of water and tea and coffee drinks during the day. Occasionally I have a Diet Coke. I'm not much of a soda person. But one of the things I started doing when I started my bucket list was I started to look at what other options I had for summer drinks. So one of the things that is making this week good is I'm back at exploring summer drinks again. And I want to share a couple with you. I'm going to share about a shrub with you, which I earlier mentioned as a drink I enjoy. And then I want to share a couple iced tea recipes. So the first thing I want to share with you is a recipe for a shrub. I already mentioned that a little earlier. This is a recipe from the New York Times. And a shrub is a summer drink that has a little bit of vinegar in it. So this one is one that features tomatoes and basil, but there's lots of recipes out there to try ones with fruit as well. So all you need to do is get about a pound of crushed cherry tomatoes, add in a half a cup of sugar, and just let that set. And in another bowl, take 20 basil leaves and about a half a cup of vinegar. Now, they recommend apple cider vinegar, but I prefer just regular white vinegar that you would use on a salad. Not like the vinegar you would clean with, but the white vinegar that you get at Trader Joe's that you could use in a salad. So then you're going to take both of these bowls, combine them together in a jar, and shake it and then store it in the refrigerator. Now, you can test it the next day, or you can wait up to 3 or 4 or even 7 days to test it. But when you're ready to use it, you're going to pour it through a strainer and then take that liquid, and you're going to use 1 part of the shrub liquid with 3 parts of sparkling water or even ginger beer. Put a bunch of ice in there and check it out. The second recipe I want to share is for iced tea. Now, this is a favorite of mine that I just super love. I love David's iced teas. So you may not have a David's by you, but they are on the internet. And they have what's called an iced tea pitcher packs. So they have these wonderful teas, all different flavors, a lot of them decaffeinated, that you can drink all summer long. Things like strawberry lemonade and just peachy. And you can order it so that it comes with a whole selection of different teas. They're already measured out. And then they have an iced tea pitcher that you can get, which I really recommend because it's plastic and it has the strainer already in it. So it's really easy to use. So their method's a little different. They actually use hot water and then they fill the rest with ice after the tea has been steeping for a while. But you'll see all of that in the directions if you go with David's. And then the third thing I want to share is more of a creamy tea I like. This is more of a thing I enjoy either in the morning or in the evening. So you get just a big glass pitcher, and it's good if it has a top, and fill it just with some cold water. Then you're going to place some black tea bags in it and let it sit in the sun all day. I found out that a couple years ago when I was in Target that they actually make bigger tea bags for tea that you would make in the sun. So you can find those at Target, or you can find those on Amazon, or you can just use the smaller ones that you would use. So go ahead and let that steep during the day. And then when you serve it, you're going to pour it over ice, add in some heavy cream, and the sweetener of your choice. So these are some fun drinks. What's your favorite summer drink? Mindfulness meditation. So I like to end our time together with taking a moment to remember who we are and to be mindful in this moment. It increases our wellness and it just makes life a little easier. So take a moment to take in a deep breath, to relax and to be present. And remember who you are. You are God's beloved. And now remember in whose image you were created. You were created in the image of God. As I read these words, just listen and breathe them in and let them give you life. I'll read them a couple times. This is Isaiah 40:31. But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. But those who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Remember these words this week, and may they give you life. Thanks for listening. I appreciate you. I invite you to subscribe, rate, review, and share this podcast. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Nicole Reilley Coaching, where I post daily on Mindfulness Mondays, Wellness Wednesdays, Savory Saturdays, and a whole bunch other things. You can also find me at NicoleReilley.com and check out my book, Expanding the Expedition Through Digital Ministry. Today, I invite you to make the important choice to embrace a life of wellness. See you next week.